we had an office debate. We've been having an office debate for the last few hours. I kicked it off. I don't know why. I came in just wanting trouble. And I kicked it off by saying...
Chose violence.
Big violence. You know, it's about a midfield debate. I said, and I feel bad now, I don't know if I regret it already, but I'm going to say it with a big chest here. I said that Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva is the best midfield in Premier League history. I said, and some were like, well, 1 second, it's not even the best midfield in Man City's history because you have Yaya Toure, Fernandinho, and David Silva. Now, look, before we get into the best midfield in history, what is the best Man City midfield? Like, honestly, what's the best Man midfield? I'm talking peak for peak here, all at their powers. Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, or Yaya, Fernandinho, and David Silva. It's good in it. It's good. It ain't gonna lie, it's a fantastic debate, though, this one.
Do you know what? I'm going to go with the latter, with the Fernandinho, Yaya, and David Silva. I mean, David Silva is, oh my, wow. People, because of what KDB's been doing, people almost not forget. I won't say they forget about. David Silva.
They're short memories.
He was incredible for Manchester City. His touch, his vision. Maybe if you look at the stat sheet, he doesn't get as many assists or as many goals, but in terms of possession, beautiful on the eye to watch. Never seemed to be in any trouble. Like, he didn't play at one pace, but it's almost like it doesn't matter what chaos is going on around him. He's elegant with the ball. Nothing really phases him. Yaya, oh my goodness gracious me, that guy, that 13-14 season, Yaya, 20 goals. Look at, if anyone's got YouTube, which I'm sure they have.
Yeah, I'd like to think we are all up to date with YouTube.
You look at that Yaya 13-14 season. It is so scary. Some of the goals, Palace.
It might be the best highlight package you've seen in a long time.
Honestly, just full steam ahead, scoring goals, throwing people off the ball. He is incredible. And Fernandinho was almost Rodri before Rodri, wasn't he? Like, a little bit naughty, fouls when they... a
little bit.
Fouls when he maybe shouldn't, but I'm going to go with that one. But just because I love De Bruyne, I love Rodri, he's the best on the planet in his position. Bernardo Silva, out of those three, you'd probably say is the lesser.
Wow, he says he's the weak link. He said he's the weak link in this.
Okay,
no. But that's what you don't have to do that. No. You didn't have to phrase it that way.
Let me ask a question. Who's the worst out of those three?
See, I don't like this phrasing.
No, but answer it.
Bernardo Silva.
Well, there you go. That's not me being disrespectful to him. He's unbelievable. But he's just out of that three, he's the worst. Yeah, out of that three, he's the worst. But I do think that three as a combination, like Rodri, as we know, is like, you know what? See, with Yaya, Fernandinho, and David Silva, like, serious question. Like, as good as Yaya was in that season, phenomenal. I don't think we ever considered Yaya one of the best players in the world. I don't think it was ever a Ballon d'Or discussion with Yaya. Obviously, the problems were Messi and Ronaldo. That was part of the issue. Whereas Rodri now, I can make an argument and say Rodri's the best player in the world. Yeah, but there's no Messi. I can make an argument. Still some players around. But there's not them two.
Yeah, not those two, but there are still some players. Kevin De Bruyne has now broken the stranglehold of Scholes, Lampard and Gerrard debate because he's now right in the mix. And I think Bernardo Silva just goes under the radar so much as well. Honestly, I think it's a midfield that has absolutely everything. It's complete, that midfield. Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo is complete.
Someone's put it's a good question because that's always the question I always ask people is prime Rodri or prime Kante. Now, Rodri is incredible because he's now, but people often forget, remember, Kante won the Premier League with Leicester, then won the league with Chelsea, and then won the World Cup with France. Now, that takes some doing that.
And by the way, he was integral in all of that. He wasn't just a little side piece. He was one of the main people in that.
Do you remember his run when Chelsea won the Champions League? Honestly, it was like he was three people.
They kept saying it, didn't they? And they said it as a joke, but sometimes you felt like there was two or three of them.
Yeah, I can't remember what the quote is, but someone will remind me on here and they'll text it in. It was like a certain percentage of the world is covered by water, and the other part is N'Golo Kante.
It's a tough one, you know. I feel like people go for Rodri because of his stature. Was he 6'3", 6'4"? He just looks like he could be the destroyer in midfield. Whereas Kante just put out fire so quick and he was so small, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Kante, 5'7", 5'8". What we want to know, and get involved as well, by the way, pick your best three Premier League midfielders. Your best three Premier League midfielders. And ideally, pick them in position as well. So a three that could play with each other. So there's, you know what I mean? There's no point, for example, having Kante and Rodri.
Or Bergkamp. You can have two holders. But you can't have Bergkamp, Cantona, and De Bruyne because none of them are sitting.
You're not going to win a game. You're going to win a game with that.
You might lose.
Yeah. You might lose a few, but you might win a few as well. Before we go to the phone lines, very quickly on this, you're free. So you have to pick your three midfielders.
Right. So I've gone Patrick Vieira. Yaya Toure for that 13-14 season.
Yeah.
And I've gone. So I'm torn here. Sorry,
I love that.
I'm torn here.
That's nice.
I'm torn here between three people. I've gone Steven Gerrard, Kevin De Bruyne, and Frank Lampard. And the reason why I've got Frank in there, that 09-10 season, he scored 22 Premier League goals. He was phenomenal that year.
Okay.
I'm going KDB.
So what once? Okay. So Steven Gerrard doesn't make your best Premier League midfielders.
No, sorry. I love Gerrard. Now, do you know what? Yes, Gerrard. Gerrard.
Look at that.
Gerrard.
All took 10 seconds of looking at you.
Gerrard, Toure, and Patrick Vieira.
Gerrard, Yaya Toure, and Patrick Vieira.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes some beating, that, doesn't it?
It doesn't get beaten. Honestly, it doesn't get
I
beaten.
feel nuts not getting in. Chelsea's midfield, that with Essien, Lampard, Makelele, that John Obi Mikel was in there, Ballack. That takes some beating, that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I guess the original midfielder, the best midfield we've ever seen, it probably still is the best midfield, is, in terms of balance, is that United midfield of Scholes, King, Beckham, Giggs.
It's a 4. This is a flat 4.
Yeah. Well, sorry that football changed over the years. It's not their fault, is it?
Blame Pep.
Yeah, blame Pep indeed. My midfield, not that you guys are very interested in.
Here we go. Alonso, Gerrard, and
Mascherano.
Yeah.
Best midfield I've ever seen. No, I'd go Gerrard, Vieira, KDB. I just think Kevin De Bruyne is a genius.
No Scholes?
No Scholes. No, you didn't even have him in your 6. You had like so many other options. You still didn't even mention him.
Who's yours?
Gerrard, Vieira, Kevin De Bruyne.
So you got no Rodri either, or Kante?
No, I've got Vieira. Don't need Rodri or Kante. I've got Vieira, who also won a World Cup, who also won the league, who also won True. He also won all of these things as well. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Dan is on the phone. Dan, your midfield 3. Go on.
Evening, boys. How we doing?
Not bad at all, Dan.
Yeah, so I've gone the same. I've gone Vieira to hold. I think you need someone who's going to drive out of defence, don't you? When you're picking the ball up from the defenders. And then KDB, best to do it, unlocking defences. And I think box to box, Stevie G, in his prime, unplayable, wasn't he?
That's it. Look at that. Great minds think alike.
Yeah, it's in mine.
No, that was mine. That wasn't your list. That was mine.
No, I've got Gerrard in mine.
So
and Vieira.
You got Yaya. Yeah, you got Yaya. He didn't have Yaya. He said Kevin De Bruyne, Gerrard, Vieira.
No, I need that power, that raw power.
Yeah, because Gerrard didn't have that. Gerrard didn't have that. Dan, when you think of sort of the best midfield that we've ever seen, so team by team here, obviously I mentioned the Man City one of Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. How far away do you think that is from being one of the best midfields we've ever seen in the Premier League?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be up there. I think when you think of them three, and you think of like your Ballack, Essien, Lampard midfield as well, I think...
Mate, forgot about that.
That midfield and that one is just, they're ridiculous, aren't they, really?
Yeah,
that midfield 3 there, Dan, you should have seen them in the tunnel. That's scary.
You're right. I can imagine. You look to your left and you think, all right, just pull the hammy. Dan, appreciate it. Loads of texts. Cheers, mate. This one's coming in. Snowball, East London. It says Rodri, Gerrard, Vieira. This one's coming as well. Gerrard, Vieira, Roy Keane. Roy Keane, Brian Robertson, Glenn Hoddle. Play Premier League, Glenn Hoddle? Did he play the Premier? I don't think so. Paul, Liverpool, says Kante as a CDM. Gerrard, box to box. Alonso, another holder, just spraying it around.
Gerrard seems to be getting a lot of people's threes. I mean, he was incredible. But that Chelsea midfield that he's talking about, I promise you, you look to your left or right, wherever they were standing, and they all just felt massive.
Yeah.
All of them.
I'm guessing Arsenal's were like that as well when it had Gilberto, Vieira. Yeah.
But Thierry, Adebayor, all massive. But there was almost like an elegance to that Arsenal. They're all big, don't get me wrong, but there was almost like an elegance, like Thierry and Robert Perez and these guys. Chelsea, like, just
wanting to smash through you.
And you just think, oh, gee, I don't fancy this today.
And Ballack was hard, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked hard, didn't
Good
he?
player.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Kyle. Kyle, before we talk about the best midfielders, because I do want to have that debate with you, because Arsenal have had some fantastic midfielders over the years. On letting Fabio Vieira go, surprised, or does he just need to go out and play some football?
No, I like him, but I just think at the minute, with all the signings all being well we got coming in, I just don't think he's going to be needed. I don't know, for the squad depth though, he might be someone that I think we should maybe keep just for like FA Cups, League Cups and stuff like that, especially where he can kind of play everywhere. So I think he could be an option. So it just depends how you want to look at it, I kind of think, really. So, yeah.
Yeah, and surely with Arsenal, Benny, you want to go deep in everything now, all the competitions, and that's one thing you've not really done, especially in Europe as well.
Being back in the Champions League was first time going out to Bayern. No.
So you need the squad, don't you? So when you look at players like Emil Smith-Rowe and again Fabio Vieira,
these guys are going to get frustrated. These players are too good. Certainly more Smith-Rowe than Fabio Vieira. He's too good just to be waiting for League Cup games and FA Cup games. He needs to be going somewhere and playing week in, week out.
Yeah, he certainly does. Carl, very quickly, Carl, on the best midfield debate, me and Bentley had Vieira in there as well. Who else I know you're going to have Vieira in there, it goes without saying. Who else would you have alongside Vieira?
I think one person that's not a lot of people have mentioned, and I think he should get way more applause for what he'd done in the Premier League, was Fabregas. Look at his 09-010 season, which like no one knows about. It goes far under the radar. He got 19 goals and 19 assists in 27 games.
Which has gone under the radar.
Yeah, is insane. And then obviously part of the Invincibles team as well. And then he come back to the Premier League, albeit to Chelsea, the wrong side of London. And then I think that year he was top of the assist charts. Obviously with Diego Costa, Hazard, and that insane midfield. So, all
right, go on then. So you got Vieira, you got Fabregas, one more.
I got Kevin De Bruyne in there because he could do everything, and he's been doing it for so long. I think the price tag at the start kind of got him a bit. He was a bit kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? He found it hard to adapt, and after it just became like a different, different class. So I'd have them three as my three.
Not bad three, is it? Yeah. Any three that anyone calls up with, I'm not going to complain. No. I'd like to moan and say no, Gerard, but I'm not going to play.
I mean, someone's put here his threes: Ali Benarbia, Luka Modric, and Cesc Fabregas. Ali Benarbia at City, I promise you, wow. He could play.
Yeah.
Jeez, he could play. People forget about people like him and like Al Berkovic. Those times.
Yeah.
Woo, he could play.
It's like City had a player called, remember Georgie Kinkladze?
Yeah.
Legend. Mate, just used to run past people like they weren't there.
Do you remember Man City's team before they became like what we're seeing? When people like Elano.
Yeah.
Remember Elano and those guys? Whew.
Bit of a cult hero, Elano. Alex is on the phones as well. Alex, go on, your midfield free.
Mate, I don't know about it's all three, yeah. It's what I'm thinking about. It's like, for me, I'm old school, man. The midfielder is like, he's like the engine house. He's like the captain of the team.
Yeah.
When I look at these great players, like the Roy Keanes, the Gerrards, it's like as much as they do when they're in the prime, they're that good and they lead that team. They start to play like that holding midfield position and they're still leading the team. You've got to be recognised as a midfielder. If you've got that ability, you can play out of position almost, yeah, and still run the team. To me, you're the man.
Yeah, no, it's interesting you say this because midfield nowadays, it's all about numbers and positions, isn't it? Like, is he a 6? Is he an 8? Is he a 10? Back in the day, you're right. You look at some midfielders and they were everything.
Yeah.
They were 6, 8s and 10s. And Roy Keane was one of those that would be up and down. Gerrard, again, very similar.
To me, that's a midfielder. I know captains are different these days. Back in the day, the captain was like in the middle of the field, wasn't it? And like now we're having the goalkeepers, having strikers, having different things. But those players really influence games. And to me, they're like, they're great players.
Do you think Kevin De Bruyne does that now?
I think he does. But what I think he does when they're playing well, I think there's games sometimes where he tries to influence football through his football ability, not through his ability to influence players and mentally drag them up, if that makes sense.
That does.
It's a different game today than what it was years ago.
Certainly is. Alex, appreciate the call, my man. Thank you very much. I know what he means.
We try and pigeonhole players now into certain positions.
Yeah, we do, don't we? Where you've seen midfielders in the past just drag a team.
Yeah.
Give me the ball. I'm just going to do it myself then and just drag a team up the pitch.